Well, good morning, everybody. I got a special one for you today. First off, welcome to that Kentuckessee Angler Show. Today we're going to be fishing a handful of baits sent to me by a good buddy who does a lot of really cool work with different lure tackle manufacturers, big and small. He does some pretty interesting stuff, so let's see what he sent us today. Well, first we got the Ajax. It's a 3-inch swim bait right there. Really cool, kind of goby looking. Some tubes. Some more tubes, since they're my favorite. Got some little panfish bites right here. The Benedict, which is pretty neat. I'll show y'all. We'll try to catch a fish on this one. Little Helgramite there, 3-incher. Good plastic. Got some craws. And some 3.5-inch paddle tails. Let's get these baits in the water. Let's try to catch some fish. The ones I don't fish today, we'll go over back at the place. First up, we have that Ajax. Now this is a cool looking bait. It's a 3-inch paddle tail right there. I got that rigged on a 1/4 ounce jig head with an exposed hook. It's got a nice thick boot to it, and it's fairly heavy for its smaller profile, which I enjoy. It's gonna make this bait really good at jigging, which is what we're gonna be doing today. Yeah, take a look at that, man. Awesome action, real tight wobble on that tail. And you can just cast it a mile. I'm running a heavy rod, 10-pound fluorocarbon, to some casting gear. And we're just gonna kind of jig this bait. I'm gonna work it in slower jigs. However, I usually run really tight ones. I think the slower working of this bait's really gonna accentuate that tail. I don't know how else to put it. That sounds kind of weird. It's really going to give that tail some time to wobble through the water, and it's going to make it work better. Oh, there we go. Good fish. Oh, it's a nice bass. There we go. Come on in. Come on in. Oh yeah, you're a chunky boy. Or a chunky girl, I don't know. Beautiful. First fish of the day. A nice, chunky largemouth. That's what I'm talking about. Way to start out the morning. This is a fat one. It's a nice looking fish. Good, healthy, thick, well fed. We'll get you back in. Thank you so much for being our first fish today. Absolutely awesome, man. Good stuff. All right. Thank you for biting. Off she goes. All right, guys, that did not take very long at all on the Ajax. Awesome little bait right there. That's super cool. So we jumped down river a little bit. We were just fishing that point over there. Now this area typically hits pretty well. It is kind of snaggy, but we're gonna be throwing that Minuteman out there. This is a 3.5-inch paddle tail. Really neat color on that one. I really like the blues. It's a color I don't often fish. I didn't select these, my buddy did for me, so super grateful for getting me into new stuff. We are throwing that on the same rig, a 1/4 ounce jig head. And that's a nice paddle tail. It's got a really good wiggle tail-wise and a nice body wobble to it as well, which I appreciate. Good fish, good fish. Oh, that's a sturdy one. What is that, a drum? Maybe a white bass. Okay, it doesn't feel as big now. What are we working with? A white. Awesome, man. Easy on the Minuteman. Kind of caught me off guard here. All right, that is our second species of the day on the second bait we've tried, the old Minuteman, that 3.5-inch paddle tail. This is pretty neat. That's a nice little chunky white bass right there. Totally caught me off guard. It smells like someone's cooking hot dogs on the grills just over yonder, and they smell pretty good. It's only 8 in the morning though, so that's kind of hot, but I'm down with it. Now, beautiful, beautiful fish, guys. These white bass are crazy aggressive, man. Well guys, not as amazing as a morning as I was anticipating, I gotta say. So I'm gonna run home. I have a couple errands to do. I gotta get some lunch in, put some time out on the water this morning. We only caught 2 fish, so I'm gonna head back out late this afternoon into the evening. Evenings are coming on a bit earlier than I'd like, you know, with that time change and all that nonsense. But we're gonna go see what we can do, try to catch some more fish. I will see y'all there. There we go, good fish. About time. My gosh, I was just zoning out. I think it's a bass. Goodness, man. Yeah, it's a really nice bass. Oh, come on. That took a minute. Oh. Heck yeah, look at that fish. That's an absolute unit. Look at the belly on that fish. Holy cow. Another big old bass. All right, there we go, guys. An absolute unit on that paddle tail. Look at that fish. Absolutely beautiful. Really, really plump. I'm gonna get her back in. We'll try to catch a couple more. Things were looking dark, but I think they're about to pick up. Thanks for biting, girl. All right, man, so I gotta say I'm a big fan of this one. It's probably my favorite. It's just got really, really nice durability. There are a lot of paddle tails in the same, I guess, kind of style. However, the durability on this, the ability to reset it over and over again is just phenomenal. Good fish. Oh yeah, that's a nice one. Come on in. All right, it's turned out to be a really good evening out here. Yeah, another big one. Oh, that one hit hard. Oh. Absolutely gorgeous, man. I almost went home. There we go, guys. They're absolutely thumping this paddle tail. My goodness, look at that fish. Super aggressive. Hit really, really hard. Started pulling drag immediately. Nice pooch on her. All right. Oh, aerobatics. We're gonna retie. The way I had her, my barb was through a lot of skin, so I just pushed it through and snipped it off. Time for a retie anyway. Oh, there we go. That's a decent one. Oh yeah, it's pulling drag. I think it's a white. No. No bass. Dang, so that's our 4th one out of this area. And I gotta tell you what, guys, there are people to the right of me, a ton of them. It's kind of hard for me to leave the spot right now. Not that we'd have much casting room anyway. Beautiful, beautiful fish. They're certainly biting. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I had a great time making this one as always. So right off the rip, huge shout out to my good buddy of Fish Al. thank you for plugging me up with the baits, brother. He does a lot of really cool stuff with different bait companies, some bigger, some smaller, a lot that you probably wouldn't find at your everyday sporting goods store, at your Walmarts, that sort of thing. So I will drop a link to his Instagram in the description if you guys want to check out some of his content. Anyhow, let's get into this bait company. So Fish or Die Bait Company, that's who we were working with today. Really cool packaging right there. So first thing I noticed when I started kind of examining these lures a bit closer, looking at the packaging, was that they donate a portion of all their sales to those protecting our freedom. Now, I really appreciate that. I'm a veteran myself. I did a couple contracts in the Army. Those days are over, but I have a lot of really good friends still out there serving, fighting the good fight. So I gotta give it to him right off the rip. Earned my respect, got a big thumbs up right there. When we started catching fish, that was 2 thumbs up on that. Now, let's check out these baits. So, I'm gonna breeze through the ones we caught fish on. Obviously they work, you guys saw them. Put in some mega work. This one was my favorite, by far the most effective bait, the Minutemen. Now, what really stood out to me about this one, get this open here, some nice clam shells, was the durability. So right away, it's got a great wiggle. It definitely caught fish. My bass are feeding heavy. They're just gorging on shad right now. So I knew paddle tails would probably be the way. That's kind of why I leaned heavy into them in this video. However, this one, I caught bass after bass on it. I kept resetting it. I didn't have any issues with it slipping off my jig head, and I really appreciate that. It kind of made it stand out a lot to me. It has a great wiggle, a great wobble to it. It definitely packed on the fish. Second up, we had that Ajax. Now, I didn't show it in the video, but I did catch a couple smaller bass on this. Now, the reason I didn't show it was because the whole second portion of this video was a struggle to film. Basically, I had a group of dudes standing to the right of me, maybe 20-30 feet. You can kind of see one at one point in the video. I did my best to kind of cut them out, but there was a bit of a language barrier going on, and they kept coming up to me whenever I'd catch a fish. They were like catfishing or something. They had like 5 lines out, man. I couldn't even cast in that direction, which was kind of frustrating me, but you know, it's public water, it is what it is. However, they kept running up to me trying to take my fish when I'd catch them. So I caught that really nice, easy 3-pounder right off the rip as soon as I got back there. And I had, you know, 2 dudes running up while I'm trying to film this video and basically trying to take my fish so they could eat it. And I don't have an issue with eating bass, man. It's not a problem to me. To each their own. I'm not super into it, but I'm not going to be giving my fish out to random dudes, especially those nice thick breeders like that. I don't even know if they have fishing license. It is what it is. Anyhow, guys, I caught a couple more fish on this one. Really enjoyed throwing it as well. Again, nice durability to it. Has quite the boot on it. This gold color is really neat. I didn't fish this one too much, but I think in clear water it would absolutely thrive. Really cool design, cool looking bait right there. So moving on, we have our tubes. Now these are scented with poison gas stench, which is kind of cool. They actually smell pretty good. It's not bad at all. It's not your power bait scent that kind of reeks up your entire car when a bag of baits is sitting in your back seat halfway open all day. This one's kind of nice. I don't mind that scent at all. It's a nice thick tube. Now I do have this rigged up with a 1/4 ounce jig head. I didn't end up fishing them. I will take these baits to another area where I think they'll be a bit more productive. I knew on that river I needed something paddle tail-esque to really get that bite going on in those conditions, but big fan of this one. Really like them. Can't wait to try them out. They again have very similar plastic. It feels really durable to me. This is a craw. Now I haven't rigged this one up. I haven't actually taken it out of the packaging, but it looks like it has a really neat design. This one is scented as well. There you go. Nice little smaller one. Kind of a cool color. It's like a more of a peach color, I'd say. I haven't fished a lot of baits in this color, but again, I think this one would thrive really well in my creeks. I'd probably rig it with a 1/0 EWG, possibly a jig head again, but nice looking craw, cool design. I'm sure it's got a nice action to it. Put that one back in. Moving on to one that really caught my eye. So the Benedict. This is a 3-inch Hellgrammite. And now I love fishing Hellgrammites. This is one of my go-to summer baits. Here's another color. I quite like this one. Got a little bit of red flake in there, that kind of dark June buggy color. And again, these have a really nice wiggle. They also feel like they're made out of that same really durable plastic. So I thought that was pretty neat. Cool design all around. So last but not least, we got that culper, that panfish bait. It's 1 1/4 inches long. I like them, man. They're pretty neat looking. I'm pretty sure my brim would tear these bad boys up. There's kind of a look at it. Almost like a super mini fluke, if you will. Here's one pre-rigged on I'm imagining a 1/32 ounce jig head that I gotta take out on the water while these brim are still biting. I'd like to do another catch and cook with them on the channel. Well, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I had a great time making this one, as always. Again, Fish or Die Bait Company, shout out. Thanks, guys. Awesome baits. I will drop them in the description. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Peace. Catch some fish, my friend.